Good morning, everyone. This meeting of the Escambia County Board of Adjustment on October 15, 2025 is hereby called to order. With 5 members present, we have a quorum. Will the clerk please swear in members of the staff?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Members of the board, copies of staff's resumes have previously been provided and remain on file for reference. The board has previously recognized staff as expert witnesses. Does anyone have any questions regarding their qualifications and abilities to offer expert testimony? Seeing none. The VOA meeting package for October 15, 2025 with the Development Services staff findings of fact has previously been provided to board members. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept the BOA meeting package.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Do we have proof of publication?
Yes, sir.
Did the publication meet all legal requirements?
Yes, sir.
Willie, would you please read the legal, I'm sorry. The chair will now entertain a motion to waive the reading of the legal advertisement. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
And do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor raise their right hand. Unanimous. Members of the board, have you reviewed the minutes for the Board of Adjustment meeting held on September 17, 2025? Upon your review of the minutes, are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none. The chair will now entertain a motion regarding the minutes for the Board Adjustment meeting held on September 17, 2025. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
And a second? Second. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Willie, would you please read the purpose of the Board of Adjustment and conduct of the meeting?
Yes, sir. Purpose of the Board of Adjustment and conduct of meeting. The Board of Adjustment, BOA, hears administrative appeals, variances, and conditional use requests. These hearings are quasi-judicial in nature. Quasi-judicial hearings are likely evidentiary hearings in a court of law, however less formal. All public testimony will be taken under oath, and anyone testifying before the BOA may be subject to cross-examination. All documents and exhibits that the BOA considers are entered into evidence and made part of the record. The giving of opinion testimony will be limited to experts, and closing arguments will be limited to the evidence in the record. After hearing the testimony and the arguments for and against proposed action, and before making its decision, the BOA will consider the relevant testimony, the exhibits entered into evidence, and applicable law. Because decisions of the BOA relating to variances, conditional uses, and extensions of development order for site plan approval are final unless overturned by a court of competent jurisdiction. The county may issue development orders and permits for properties in ordinance with the decision of the BOA. However, if an applicant requests the issuance of any such order or permit, and such order or permit is issued, the applicant and not the county shall bear any risk that such decision may be set aside. The development order or permit may be revoked, or the development may be otherwise enjoined by the reviewing court. Any applicant for relief from a decision of the BOA for said actions and any aggrieved party as defined by state law may seek review of such decision by filing an appropriate pleading in a court of competent jurisdiction within 30 days of the BOA decision. The date of the BOA decision shall be the date of the BOA voted at the conclusion of the hearing. Whenever the BOA denies an application, no new application for an an identical action on the same parcel shall be accepted for consideration within a period of 180 days of the BOA decision. Any person aggrieved by a decision of the BOA relating to an appeal of an administrative decision may, within 15 days thereafter, apply to the circuit court for review. Each individual who wishes to address the board regarding a particular use must complete a blue request to speak form and submit it to the clerk of board. These forms are located on the table in the back of the commission chambers. You will not be allowed to speak until we receive one of these completed request to speak forms. We must have these completed forms for public record.
As written or oral communications outside of this hearing with members of the BOA regarding matters under review today are considered ex parte communications. Ex parte communications are presumed prejudicial under Florida law and must be disclosed as provided in Board of County Commission Resolution 96-13 before a decision by this board on any administrative appeal, variance, or conditional use request. The chair would ask, as each case is heard, that any board member who has been involved in any ex parte communication regarding the respective issue to please identify themselves and describe the communication. All right, we have one case today. Case number CU 2025-12, 9500 West Highway 98. A conditional use request to allow a restaurant not among the permitted uses of the commercial zoning district. Requested by Thomas Messina, agent for Public Supermarkets, Inc., owner. Board, is there any ex parte communications regarding this case? Seeing none. Board, does anyone have knowledge or information obtained from a site visit or other sources? Seeing none. Does any board member intend to refrain from voting due to a conflict of interest? No. Seeing none. Would the individuals who are a party to this item please come to the podium, state your name and address, and so you can be sworn in by the clerk.
Good morning. Thomas Messina, 9496 West Highway 98, Suites 400-500, Pensacola, 32506.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Were you provided a copy of the criteria required to obtain a conditional use and a copy of the findings of fact?
Yes, sir, I was.
Do you want to present your case, or would you rather have staff present it, and you can?
I'll have staff present the facts, and then I can answer any questions.
All right.
My name is Christina Smith. I'm an urban planner too for Escambia County. This is conditional use case 2025-12. The applicant is seeking a conditional use approval to allow for a restaurant not among the permitted uses of the commercial zoning district. This is a copy of the location map. This is a 500-foot radius zoning map showing that most of it's commercial, surrounded by a little bit of HCLI. This is a future land use map, which shows all commercial surrounding it. This is a copy of the aerial map showing the whole shopping complex. This is the notice of public hearing sign posted on Highway 98. This is looking east on Highway 98. This is looking west on Highway 98. And this is looking at the building from Highway 98. This is the second public hearing sign that was posted on Blue Angel Parkway. This is looking north on Blue Angel Parkway. This is looking south on Blue Angel Parkway. And this looking at the building from Blue Angel Parkway. And this is looking behind the building at where the neighborhood is pretty far back there. And this is looking at the building. And this is the location of where they're proposing the outdoor seating. And that concludes the photography.
Would the applicant like to present his case, please?
So the staff, we recommend approval. It's met all of the criteria. If you would like for us to read it, I would. If not,
Right.
It is the applicant's case to make, so we should go ahead with your
Okay.
presentation, please. Addressing it.
Okay. So we are opening a restaurant in this space, and in order to improve the guest experience, we would love to be able to have outdoor seating conditional use approval. That will allow for a little bit more space, and weather permitting, it would make a more pleasant experience for our guests. And also, we're excited to bring jobs to the local economy, and that would help us with additional throughput. That would help the restaurant to be more successful, to provide those jobs and sustain them. And as far as anything else, I would just add that there's no alcohol sales at our restaurant. There's 9 p.m. closure daily, and as staff mentioned, the residential areas are more than 500 feet away from the actual space where we're proposing the seats. The interior of the restaurant will have about 14 tables, and so we're proposing 7 outdoor tables, 4 seats each. We would also do a canopy, so there's a separate process where we have approval. I believe we currently have approval basically for a canopy only for weather cover, since there's no approved outdoor seating at this point. But if we had the approval for the outdoor seating, we would add a canopy that matches the existing metal awning that's currently above the side patio door. We would have a safety railing as well. And then there's plenty of setback there's landscaping from the edge of the patio in between the street that goes by. Happy to add any other clarification.
Board members, any questions for the applicant? I have one question. Staff, would you bring back the plot? I think you had another one of the site plan.
Visual representation or just a
Yeah.
picture?
No, it was a drawing of the. I think it was the first one you pulled up. Oh. The question I have is the outdoor seating adjacent to public sidewalk?
Yes, sir. There's a walkway that connects from the front of the building around the side and continues towards the parking lot in the rear.
And your outside seating won't infringe on that public walk? There we go.
Can we pull up a picture of that? Or, yeah. So the canopy and the railing that are going through a separate approval process would not go all the way out to that shrubbery. So there would still be space to walk in between those shrubs and the outdoor seating area.
Is the space between the building and the shrubs, is that public or private? Or both?
That space is owned by public supermarkets.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Board, any other questions for the applicant?
Just to make sure, you stated there's no alcohol served at this restaurant?
That's correct, sir. No alcohol.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, would you like staff to go through the findings of fact? Or would you rather do that?
I'll defer if staff would like to do that.
For criteria A, the proposed conditional use of outdoor patio dining can be conducted and operated in a manner that is compatible with adjacent properties and other properties in the immediate area. The restaurant will be located in 2 suites on the east side of the building. The patio is 8 by 50 for a total square foot of 400 square feet, which will seat 28 people. This is a large parcel of over 50 acres with a large 16-foot vegetated buffer and an 8-foot stockade fence on the north side of the property. In addition, the suite is over 500 feet from the rear property line. For criteria B, existing utilities were installed when the Blue Angel Plaza Shopping Center was built. For criteria C, ingress and egress will be accessible through existing driveway connections to Blue Angel and Highway 98. For criteria D, outdoor seating areas are shown on the proposed site plan. Provisions of the Land Development Code does not allow for the making of noise or sound that exceeds the limits outlined in LDC or the county noise ordinance. In addition, air pollutants, glare, vibrations, and other nuisance hazards are addressed by the LDC and must be met. Criteria E, on-site waste containers will be appropriately located and screened from off-site visibility. Criteria F, screening and buffering were approved through the development review process with the Blue Angel Plaza Development Order. For criteria G, signs have already been issued for the land use approval. Exterior lighting shall be deflected from adjoining properties and public streets. For criteria H, the size and topography of the site appear adequate to accommodate the proposed use. The patio cover will be installed over an existing impervious surface. For criteria I, there are no specific use requirements listed for the use for this proposed conditional use, and staff would recommend approval of the proposed use as requested.
Board, have you any questions for the staff? All right. Do we have a motion to approve this application?
Do we? We don't have any, nobody speaking?
No, there are no speakers.
Okay, well, at this time, I make a motion to approve according to staff findings, if there's no further, questions.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor of approval, please raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. All right. Staff, any news or any information you can share with us?
I will defer that to your attorney for one item.
Let's see. I included an order that was recently issued in the backup in the agenda just as an informational item that was regarding a case that came before the BOA some time ago, request for conditional use to construct a borrow pit, which the board denied. The applicant appealed and the court upheld the BOA's decision.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions, then I'm happy to answer it.
All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.